Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. My name is Yvette Quale. I like to create craft tutorials for beadwork, junk journaling, paper crafting, and more. And in today's video, I am going to reveal a little bit more of the Van Gogh journal that I've been creating and some of the things that I've done this weekend. And then I'm also going to create a couple things here on camera. I've got all my scraps over here that I have images and different things that I've pulled that I would like to incorporate in the journal. And then of course over here I have the journal. So I will link the videos, part 1 and part 2 of the different things I've done in the journal so far. But let's go ahead and take a look. I did change a couple things around from the last video. So again, the cover is just all pieced together, fabric pieces, quilting blocks that I've put on there, put a little bit of trim on there. And like I said, you can get the details in the other videos. So let's go ahead and open this up. In the front here, I've made the pocket that was in the other video. I've added a little bit of trim here on the edges. I'll be adding some more trim. And then I made this little belly band here with an image from one of the kits from Nevermore Creations 17.com that I'm using to create the journal. A little bit of hand drawing on there. This has a little upper tuck spot there. A little bit of trim on the side here. Did a little embellishment here and a sticker over here. And then this is an image that I got from Ephemera Treasure Trove on Etsy, and I bought a kit that had a whole bunch of different Van Gogh images in it, and that's what I'm using. This washi tape is from Amity Bloom on Etsy, so I just layered that up, put a little bird in the corner. So again, this is a Van Gogh nature themed is kind of what I'm going for. Down here is a little bit of cheesecloth with a little crocheted doily on there. Haven't decided if I want to add anything to this. This is some paper that I got and purchased from 2 different people, so I have those in the description box as well. But I don't know if I want to really add anything more to that. This is a little fold-out page for journaling here. Another piece from Ephemera Treasure Trove on Facebook, and then I made this collage background piece and just made a little journal card out of that. A little bit more of the coffee dyed paper. Here's a pocket that I've started, haven't added anything to it, and you'll notice I've done some trimming around, just hand-drawn stitching. I'll do that on most of the pages. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've done a little bit of trim here. And as we move through the journal, did a little pocket here. This is a little thing I was thinking about putting on there, but I'm not sure about that. And then, don't think I've done anything else. I did add a little trim on the bottom down here so that it hangs out of the journal. So that'll be interesting to see all those little bits out of the bottom. And then of course on the side, I'll be adding more trim on the sides. And I want to put a couple things that poke out the top as well. So let's go ahead and I'll set this aside for a minute as we create something for it. So I think I want to make something. I need something here. I don't like to leave blank white pages if I can avoid it. So I think what I'll do here is maybe just add a little bit of this trim. And I was going to do a live video, but I didn't know that you have to be on or signed up for it for 24 hours before you're allowed to do a live video. So I will try that again. Hard to get a time where I can do that, but I do want to do that in the future. So be watching my channel and I'll try to incorporate some sort of live video. So I kind of like how that looks. Maybe I want to add a little button to it. I have this really cool, this is a hand crocheted vintage button here that I've been wanting to use. Now it's done on, this is the back side of course, that's the front side. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. I think that'll be a nice little touch on top of that trim. And of course that will have to set. Fabri-Tac sets up pretty quick, so usually I, unless it's gone over or something, I can go ahead and turn the page and work on the next thing. So I do had people ask me if I create, how I create ephemera pieces for my journal, if I make them up ahead of time, if I kind of skip around, or if I kind of go through. So I like to go page to page as I go through the journal, so that as I'm flipping through the pages, it's kind of makes sense to me in how the journal kind of works. So I just kind of think about, okay, I'm going to have spaces where we can journal, so I kind of keep those sort of together. Maybe, if I have something visual, I won't put a lot on there. Sometimes I'll layer it up a whole lot, but most of the time I just like it to kind of have a little bit. And then again, oh, look at that, it already came off. Again, I don't like to have a whole lot of white pages, so that's usually the pages that I will decorate up. Maybe I should leave that a little longer, but anyway, so we'll go ahead and make something for this pocket while that little piece dries there. So let me set this aside, and then I'll go ahead, standing up, so I'll try to sit down here and not move my camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I do have these little cutouts, the little paper punches, and they're just with some yellow paper that I had, so maybe I'll do something with that. I could put a little piece of the trim on there, and then maybe make something to tuck down in there is what I was thinking. But let me look here. So I do have a couple of pieces. This is from one of the kits that I'm using that I've backed in coffee dyed paper. This is a piece that I got in some Happy Mail, or a swap actually. So that I'll be putting in there. This is another piece that's already done. These are by Joy Crowley. Sorry about that. And yeah, so I'm just kind of looking through here, seeing kind of maybe what I'd like to do in that pocket. It's a yellow pocket, yellow and white, so kind of want something that's contrasting. I have these really subtle pages here. Maybe I could make a booklet out of that or something. That's what I was thinking. So let me grab some paper here. So I think I'm just going to fold this into, I've got to make sure it fits in the pocket. Let's make it a little bit smaller here. Like this. Make sure that's going to fit. It's a little tall, so I think I'll just cut it off about right in here. And then this little piece, it's a little bit, that might be all right. And then I'm going to put a little tuck spot here, maybe tuck something in there, and then this will open up and it'll become a journaling spot. So I do use Fabri-Tac glue on almost everything, and if you guys have been watching my channel at all, you know I'm a little bit glue happy. I like to put a lot of glue on things, make sure that they stick. I just don't like to wait for it to dry, as you could tell with the button earlier, but anyway, put that on there, and then this will just open up. Maybe I'll do something in there as well, of course. And then I'm thinking, put this down here, just attach it, part of it. So I usually go about like halfway around, and then I like to put it so that it's the pocket kind of open, or the tuck spot opens on this side, so it'll come in there. So we have that. Then we have to fix that up a little bit, right? So I don't want it too thick because it's going to go in a pocket. So I have these little stamps that I had, and I just put those on coffee dyed paper. So maybe I'll find one of those that I want to put on there. Maybe like a leaf to kind of counteract that leaf. That's a little too small. Let me see. I just jumped on here last minute, so I didn't really plan a whole lot of things. I do have this larger butterfly, so I can cut that out a little bit. I'm just going to cut with a little bit of reveal on there. I could cut it right up, but then I never know what to do with the antennae, so I don't want to do that. I usually just cut around with a little bit of reveal, or if I cut right up onto the image, then I'll just put some little hand-drawn antenna on there. Put that on there. So I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing on this journal. I think it's kind of a fun concept to mix the Van Gogh with the botanical side of things, and it's been fun to kind of create that kind of mix. So this is a little paper, and it opens. This is what Joy made, and it's got a couple spots in here where we can journal. So we could just tuck that in there eventually. I want this to dry before I do that, but that's skinny enough that it can fit in there. And then we have a little peek of that image behind. What else I can do is kind of make some little, hand-drawn stitching. I like to do that a lot. Doodling, whatever you want to call it. So I can just put a dot in each one of these little scallops around. Then I like to do like zigzag stitch. And I don't like to do it all the way around necessarily. I just, like a tack stitch. And the messier it is, the more I like it. So I'll bring that up so you guys can see kind of what's happening there. Then I'll go around the whole thing here with just a little bit of green to bring that color in as well. So sorry I'm not really talking great here, but kind of concentrating on what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and open this up. And inside here, I think I'll just take this green and kind of go around the whole thing. Now sometimes I will take and move my lines a little bit more jiggly, but this is kind of a fatter pen, so I don't want to really do that. And I have these little botanical stickers. I think I'll put one of those on there. The hardest part is getting the sticker open, right? And I've tried the little tool trick and it doesn't work for me, so just know that if you ever get something from me, it'll have my fingerprint on the back, I guess. So I'm just going to leave that there a little bit so that it's just a little bit, maybe put something up here in the corner. I do have some butterflies, but they're kind of bigger. Let's see. Could put a little trim up here like that, maybe with I don't know what I'm thinking. I'll just put this on for now. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back here on the one side, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but in junk journaling you can really kind of do whatever you want. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the inside of this, kind of stick it down over the top, kind of like that. And I have this pretty blue trim. In some spots it has a little bit of pink on it. I don't really want the pink part, So I'm just going to cut out a little bit of the blue part. And put a little bit of glue on there. Now you don't need a whole lot with the lace because it's going to kind of seep through if you put too much on there. And let's see, what else could I do? When in doubt, grab a button. So one of the things I like to do when you have a button and it has a little fabric on the back where it was attached to something and somebody cut it off, I like to use this side as the exposed side. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on there and stick that up there at the top. So again, we'll have to wait for that to dry, but we can let that dry. Then on the back here, I'm just going to go around with some messy stitching. And sometimes when I'm really having fun, I just do a couple or 2 or 3. Kind of gives a nice effect to it. Okay, so that's that there. And then this on the inside. Another thing I like to do while I'm kind of showing different techniques, you draw a line and kind of zigzag back on it for some writing space. I just usually make these kind of neutral so that, you know, as people add their own writing to it, it just becomes its own thing. Okay. So with that, I'll just take this and bring my journal back here. And that will just pop into that pocket there. And then I'll do a little bit of drawing around that perimeter of the page, kind of frame that out a little bit. And I don't know, maybe I need a little something else on there. I really didn't plan anything. I'm just going along. See, I kind of like that. And then that other little tuck spot will be in there. I'm going to put this little bird on there. And this I just cut out of a gardening book. All right. There's that. Then I'll go ahead and tuck this in because it's probably dry by now or dry enough. And tuck that in there so that all becomes a little secret journaling spot. So over here you'll see, where's my other page like that? I did some coloring on the flowers. They look like this over here. So I'll probably do that. I guess I should be on camera here. So yeah, I just colored in these flowers that were part of the kit. And that's what they looked like before. So I'll probably do the same over here. I won't do that on camera because that takes a little while. And you guys know how to color, right? So this part's going to be just a journaling page. I have another blank page here that I can do something on. And this is the back page of the first signature. So I don't like to put anything really on the outside. I'll just do something here on the inside. So maybe keep this a little bit more simple. I have this piece of paper here and it's almost like a little pocket. So I was thinking about putting that down at the bottom. But I think what I want to do first is put an image on there. I like to layer things up. Let me find an image that I think will fit on that page. that and put this down here. Now I'm going to have to cut this off and then glue that end because this is a little bit too long, but it was like an end piece that I had. I guess I should cut it straight. So that'll go just down here, and then I'll have something I can tuck into. So let's glue the inside first. Then I'll glue, actually I think I'm going to glue both sides of this and make this into a belly band actually. Like this. And then I can slide this in. And then this has a pocket in it, so now I can put a journal card in there. Put my glue cap back on. Let's grab another piece. Now that's up pretty high, so it's going to have to be a smaller piece, such as this, but I don't want to that's going to cover his face too much, so I think, well, and that's fine too, you can move this up. Hello. Like that. Kind of want something a little different. Let me just look through here, see what I have. That's interesting to me. So I do want to back this. It doesn't have any backing on it. So I've got some coffee dyed paper here. I'll just back it with that. So usually when I'm creating, I kind of have an idea in my mind what I want to do, but many times that changes. So just like what happened there, let's put this in a pocket on the bottom. Oh no, let's make a belly band. It's kind of how my brain works, so I just go with whatever I think will fit and will look good. Like I said, I do like to have a little bit of a flow to the journal so that as you're going through page by page, you have some interest on each one of the pages as you're going through. I think I'll round these corners here. So I got this little rounder, got that on Etsy, but I've seen it on Amazon as well, so different color but same concept. Now on the back, this has some spots in there as well, so let me finish this first and then we'll go on from there. So I think I'll just go around with some little messy stitching. Oops, missed that corner. It's best to let your glue dry before you do your corner rounding, just because that helps to secure it a little bit better. Let's put that in there. And then here we've got these nice images which I kind of want to keep, so what I'll do sometimes with that is I'll just take and put a little piece for a journal spot in there. I kind of like that pattern side, so we'll just add some glue here. And this is a fun way to kind of use up those spaces that, you know, normally it's got some cool writing on there and stuff, but this way you can add a little bit of your own journaling on there. put my cap back on my glue here. And then what I like to do is just go around and add a little bit of detail around this. Now these pens that I'm using, they are water-based, so they take a little time to dry, so you don't want to do that and put it right in, especially when it's a magazine or an image out of a book or something that's got a little bit of sheen to it. You'll want to let that dry completely. So what you can do here is kind of just do your messy stitching like these are part of it. And I'll even do that down here. And maybe right here where it comes together. I'll take my yellow pen. I'll just kind of go around the perimeter. Now this is always very messy when I do this. And when I first started doing that, I was, oh no, I just messed it up. But I think it really adds a lot to how the card looks. So we just transform that by adding a little bit of doodling and adding a little journal spot. On the front here, I'm just going to leave that as it is, but I am going to let that dry because I want that to be dried before we do anything. So that's going to bring the image down into here. Then we'll have a space here. So we can maybe do, I don't know, maybe like, I like this image, but I don't know if I want that behind that. See what I'm saying? So I don't think I do. Maybe we need a word. Let me see what I've got here. So, this is Amity Bloom washi tape. It's like a vintage wallpaper. I think I'm just put that here. Maybe I'll cut this down a little. So we're just going to create a little cluster down here, I think. Got a little bit of cheesecloth here. Let's see. It's kind of thick on one side, so I don't want that. Oh, there we go. I just want a little piece of that. Cheesecloth is a lot of fun. Now I could put that so that it kind of sticks out a little bit, and then put one of these little flowers on there. Let's see, that one's kind of cut out. Let's see if I have. I don't. All right. Talking to myself. So again, I just like to leave that a little bit messier as I go around this. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. So I just kind of trim that up a little bit. I'll go ahead and put that on there with the cheesecloth. So cheesecloth doesn't need a whole lot of glue on it. And then with this, I just follow the pattern a little bit on there. Again, we're not going to close the page on this because it will stick, so we'll leave that for a minute. And you will need to hold that on there for a second. And do a little test over here. That's ready. So we'll go ahead and slide this in behind like that. And I think I'm going to put a little word either there or here. I'm not sure. We have gratitude, which is too big. had a whole bunch of words in here. Where'd they go? Of course. Oh, here we are. I have bright day, which is also too big. I have think of all the beauty, which is great, but it's a little too big. I will be using that elsewhere though. Let's see. I know I had a whole bunch in here. Happiness. Let's see how that looks. But the thing is his face doesn't look happy.